That's right. You've pressed play on All the Right Moves, a limited series from the Director's Chair Network about the filmography of Edgar Wright. I'm your host, Trucker Andy, and with me this week is our resident drinking expert, Hughezy. Hughezy, welcome to the show.
Down in one, or don't even attempt it. Hello.
Yes. And I wanted the show to be taken seriously, so I insisted on inviting a puppet on for this episode.
Yes, and also Tooke, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, let's foster credibility with a puppet and a leprechaun. So welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for joining me. I have been having so much fun talking about the films of Edgar Wright, and this one is controversial for me, I guess, if I'm going to set the table for where this conversation is going to go. But Hughezy, you wanted to specifically talk about this one. So why did you want to pick this to talk about, and why was it because of suicidal alcoholism?
And drugs. That's not about the drugs.
Yeah.
No, but the thing about this one that really stuck out to me is at the time when this came out was 2013. I was like heavily into the party scene, and it sort of scared the shit out of me, because rewatching it just a few days ago, it makes you realize that everybody's got that inner Gary King, who Simon Pegg plays, inside them. Where, because I'm 40 now, and I'm like, I've still got the thing in me where I'm like, let's go out like we used to. Let's day drink and then go to some nightclub, and then we'll go to an after party, and then we'll go day drinking the next day to cure the hangover. Mm-hmm. Where you think, come on, it's no, we're not old, we've still got it. And it's not helping the fact that Oasis is back and the biggest band in the world. It's like, I was right the whole fucking time.
Right.
But then at the same time, what I loved about it is you can relate to the frustration of the middle age, becoming middle age, where it's like, you could see how in the film it took so much effort just to get, was it 5 or 6 friends to meet up to hang out again?
Yeah.
Obviously, but in real life, it's like, I remember on a bad night out when I was a teenager, there'd be maybe 30 to 40 people going out to the bars and the nightclubs. And you think, oh, fuck, only 40 people came today. This is terrible. Yeah. And not nowadays, if you can get over 10, that's like a record where you're like, holy shit, I don't know what to say to people. Yeah. Netflix?
That's let me check with the wife syndrome.
Sure.
You can go out and do anything.
Do you know why Stevie Wonder can't see his friends?
Why?
Because he's married.
Yeah. Hacka. All right, 2K.
Yes.
Had you seen The World's End before I invited you onto the show?
One of the ways I judge a movie is based on saying, did I pay money to see it? I saw this movie in the theater when it came out. So I actually went to a theater, sat down, bought a soda and maybe some crappy hot dog, and watched this movie with like 5 other people in the theater, but it was a matinee. But I remember enjoying it very much back then. I've seen it pop up on TV, so I've seen it here and there. But I did make sure to rewatch it just to sort of refamiliarize myself with it, because it had been a while since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is one of my favorite ones in the series, because it's it does remind you of that whole thing, like you said, when I know guys just like the Gary King character, who are the same people they were back in high school. I've actually podcasted with a few of them, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like I'm a completely different human being than I was in high school. But I know guys are like, but this is the same. He's the same guy. Oh my God, how did he not change at all? So Gary's the representation of all those guys that I've known since high school, who are still basically mentally in high school.
Yeah, and then not to bring it into a Dabbleverse conversation, but Gary King is exactly what Stuttering John is. It was like he admitted, and I'm not making accusations, he said himself that he still does nose beer in his 60s or whatever. And he still drinks pretty much all day, every day. And it's like why? You're not going to reverse time and go back to the way it used to be. as much as we would love to. Specifically me, I had so much fun right up until 2 years ago, and then I realized I can't fucking do this shit anymore.
That's that first night you go out and stay up all night, and it almost murders you. And you're like, oh shit, I can't do that anymore. Like, fuck, I can't just go home, get changed, and go to work. Fuck.
That happened to me for the first time about 3 years ago. It was the morning after a school reunion, ironically enough, and I had so overdone it, even by my standards at the time, that the next morning, I think I may have legitimately had a minor heart attack in the shower.
Oh, jeez.
Because I've never been hungover like that, and I've had a few hangovers since. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll not do, a whole bottle of whiskey and a big bag of Coke every weekend. Maybe I'll just wank all the time. I mean, read books is what I meant to say. That's what I meant by wanking. Reading a book, turn the pages, that kind of wanking.
It does get to a point where your body physically starts telling you that enough is enough, rather than you consciously making that decision. It's your brain is obviously not making good decisions, so your body just starts making them for you as soon as you get to 40. But
that's why I love Guinness so much, because there's literally a physical limit that you can have where it's like you just at some point you cannot digest it anymore, and it just and it's like you. It's like maybe 5 to 6 pints, and then you realize you're done, and it's just like sitting in your stomach here, and you can feel it, and it's just like water on top of water, like we're gonna burst. But that being said, I will never ever truly give up drinking. Ahoy!
Yeah, cheers to that. That is interesting. I know people that don't have the fail safe that I have. I'll either vomit or pass out before I will get blackout drunk and start acting a fool. Whereas I've seen, several women that just don't know when enough's enough and don't know what happened the night before.
But this film did, even rewatching it the other day, it really does worry me that I do have that Gary Kingness still in me, because that type of music, the soundtrack in this film, that's the type of music I listen to every day.
Yeah.
Like, I loved, what is it? The primal scream opens the song, or no, when the credits start playing, and you just go, I don't want to lose your love.
We want to get loaded, and we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
And I remember when that came out in 1991 or 1992, and on top of that, oh fuck, during the pandemic, I had a midlife crisis because they announced the 30th anniversary of that album, and I'm like, what do you mean 30 years ago? I can remember queuing up to buy it on cassette.
Yeah.
Like vividly, and it's like, man, and that was 30 fucking years ago. Ridiculous.
And that's one of the better things that I like about The World's End is the themes of male friendship and responsibility and loneliness, and the value of that kind of nostalgia that you had about hanging out with your friends when you were younger. I think a lot of people, as they grow up, long for that the easier days when they had less responsibilities and not a care in the world, and just hanging out with friends was the most important part of your life. And this is obviously something that Gary, the main character, if we're going to sort of start talking about the beginning of the film and the introduction of the characters, that includes Simon Pegg as Gary King, and then we have Nick Frost back again as Andy, and then we have Ollie, played by Martin Freeman, Pete, played by Eddie Marion, and Steve, played by Patty Considine, I think is how you say that. Hughezy, are you more familiar with these UK actors, or is that more prominent over there than those? I mean, I recognize these guys, but with the exception of Simon and Martin Freeman and Nick. The other two are maybe less familiar to me.
Yeah, but when this came out, this was basically the equivalent of like the UK comedy Ocean's 11. In that these were all like legitimately big names and successful actors, but it actually had a bit of a weird one because Paddy Considine has directed films, and he made a film called Tyrannosaur. And I'm not, because this is going on YouTube, I'll not make you have to edit more, but Eddie Marsden was in that, and he played this basically this husband who was so barbaric to his wife, like all the horrible stuff you can imagine, and they didn't hold back at all in that film. That's very graphic. To now they're like, and here's a comedy from them, and you go, that guy's hilarious, despite what he did.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting because 2K, maybe you could speak to this as well. When Hot Fuzz came back after Shaun of the Dead set the world on fire, everybody loved Shaun of the Dead, and now it's like, okay, now let's bring up the budget, bring up the cameos. Hot Fuzz, was we're talking about this after that, obviously, in the series of shows that we're doing, but everybody wanted to be in the Edgar Wright business to the point where Peter Jackson and Cate Blanchett are making uncredited cameos in Hot Fuzz. So now you have this where, as Hughezy is saying, just people want to be in business with Edgar Wright. And did you, what were your thoughts about the filmography, maybe Shaun and Hot Fuzz leading up to the world's end?
Shaun of the Dead was kind of a movie that came out of nowhere for me. I just saw this. Oh, this is like just a, you first see like, oh, here we go, another zombie movie, and then you realize, okay, this is something comedic. And I was vaguely familiar with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost at that point, but this is really what kind of put them in like my I guess my focus, for lack of a term. And I've been watching, like, this is fucking hilarious. And I think that actually set me up for a bit of a letdown with Hot Fuzz. Because I loved Shaun of the Dead. And I watched Hot Fuzz thinking, all right, that was fun, but there was no Shaun of the Dead. I know a lot of people really loved that movie, so I'm not trying to shit on it because I did enjoy it. Yeah, I got what they were going for. They were going for all of the action movie cliches, the diving with the two guns, shooting, and the dive lasts 35 seconds. 85 rounds of ammunition while in full dive. Yeah. It's fantastic. So I did enjoy it. It's just that I loved Shaun of the Dead so much that I guess my mind, I was expecting that same level of like enjoyment. And like I said, I did enjoy it, but just not to the same degree. Now, with the world's end, I feel like I did. Oh, right.
I was just going to say, not to stop you, but I pretty much agree with that. But to your other point that people love Hot Fuzz, our previous guests on this series have also agreed that Hot Fuzz is their favorite for one reason or another. And to that I say, go rewatch Shaun with a critical eye. And there's a lot going on in it that is maybe done to a less successful degree in these, the follow-up things that are kind of like, let's, I don't know, you see Adam Sandler doing it with The Wedding Singer and 50 First Dates and anything that he's trying to shoehorn Drew Barrymore or Jennifer Aniston into. It's just like trying to duplicate the success of The Wedding Singer. And that's kind of what Hot Fuzz and The World's End are for me. But go ahead, Hughezy, what were you thinking?
Yeah, if we're disrespecting The Wedding Singer, I'm going right now.
I'm not disrespecting The Wedding Singer is amazing. I'm saying he tries to replicate the chemistry and the magic of The Wedding Singer with 50 First Dates, and it's just like photocopy of a photocopy attempt at trying to harness the lightning in a bottle that was The Wedding Singer. And I think that Hot Fuzz and World's End are that to Shaun for me, but it's just my opinion.
Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler did a third film together, and I think it's called Blended. Yeah, where it's about these two. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's about these two single parent families who pretend to be together so they can get this free vacation to the beautiful destination of Africa. and it's full of so many stereotypes. You would think that Anthony Cumia was an executive producer.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
Glen is-
So much of Adam Sandler's catalog is just an excuse to go on vacation with his friends, and the movie is just an afterthought. But Tooke, what were you going to say?
Based on what you were saying about photocopying Drew Barrymore, Blended is proof that if you photocopy Drew Barrymore too many times, she comes out retarded. So,
The multiplicity of Drew Barrymores blended. Yeah.
But what Tookie was saying about Edgar Wright's films, and it felt like because he's clearly a massive film nerd, and not just like, oh, the arts of the German expressionism of the 70s and all. He's like, no, I like 80s and 90s B-movie shit. I like the classics. I love the corny stuff. I've guilty pleasure stuff. Like, he has publicly stated his legitimate love of Bad Boys 2, and not in an ironic joke way. And he's 50% right there. But it's even things like am a huge collector of physical media, and Edgar Wright's DVD releases at the time were such a, like, I remember the Shaun of the Dead DVD. There's more content on the disc than there is the film. There's like multiple commentaries and animated plot hole fill-ins, and it's just like, in this, you could clearly tell that this guy's like, what would I want if I was a filmmaker? Oh, I am. So perfect Edgar Wright impression there. So that's the thing, and like you were talking about Hot Fuzz and the cliches and how he would use the music from 80s action film trailers in the actual Hot Fuzz film itself, and it's like, this guy is fucking exactly what I need. Mostly.
That's a lot spot on. And we've been talking about how so much of Edgar's films are references. It's fandom as a personality, and that's very much on display in Space. This is probably a good time to talk about the Space portion of the coverage that we've been doing from episode to episode. And this episode features the episode 1 and episode 2 of Spaced, where we have the return of the characters. Daisy had left at the end of season 1, so she comes back, but then it's just peppered in with so many references that included Pulp Fiction, The Matrix, The Color of Money, and then Empire Strikes Back, and the running gag of the Phantom Menace being shit, which is very funny to me, especially retroactively being past the third installment of a trilogy, with The Last Jedi being so hated. What would Tim from Space think about Last Jedi if he hates Phantom Menace so much? And it's just fun to see that Kevin Smith clerk's fingerprints informing the character of Tim and the series of Spaced. What is your opinion of Spaced, Hughezy?
Well, that's the problem with Simon Pegg in Spaced, because in my head I like to think, well, I'm this super cool tough guy from the streets who loves to get with the ladies and have a good time, but at the same time I'd be like, do you want to talk Marvel though? Yeah, like that's one of the reasons why I had such a problem with like the Big Bang Theory, that apart from the science talk, I could easily hang around with those 4 dicks and be like, yeah, let's debate the Flash versus Superman. I'm into it. But I understand what he was like with the Phantom Menace, because it was shit. But we almost need, as you say, Andy, a bonus scene of Spaced to wrap up what he thinks of. But then Simon Pegg would do that because he's become a real fucking shill, and he was in the new Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Good point. Yeah, he does have certain involvement. I mean, obviously, anybody would want to that grew up with it would want to, if they had the opportunity, be a part of it, whether it sucks ass or not. But yeah, Spaced really is kind of the way that I grew up. I thought that season 2, episode 1 was the perfect companion to the World's End episode because Colin and Marcia are getting smashed together, and there's a bit of a celebration, a drinking celebration with Tim, with Daisy coming back, and it's just an interesting glow up to season 2 from season 1. And we talked about how the character of Daisy is maybe unique in the sense that, like Caitlin Olsen or Zoe Deschanel in like New Girl and Always Sunny, it's just the character of Daisy doesn't have to rely on her looks to be entertaining in season 1. And that being said, I don't think that the value of a woman is her looks, but in season 2, when Daisy comes back, I find the character of Daisy more valuable in the sense that she is hotter.
yeah, that's why you like recording with New Girl, her witty puns.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's no value in looking good on camera, but I did appreciate the fact that Daisy had a bit of a glow up in season 2, and it just, I don't know, it's just a better version of the character. And also, let's see, season 2, episode 2. I was talking about how when Tim gets fired from his job, it kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying about the Big Bang Theory and trying to think of yourself as a tough guy, and then he gets fired for yelling at a kid and runs home like a little girl because he's upset about losing his really cool job. And I just remember, do you guys have any childhood memories of baseball card shop owners or comic book shop owners and the culture of the people that work there and are predatory with children financially, not sexually, but I just remember guys like that when I was a kid.
I like Hughezy, I've been in comic book shops and had 2-hour debates with other nerds about random superhero shit. And the shop I went to, run by a guy named Jerry, who we affectionately called Jerry the Jew. So, and the kid would come in, and the kid was there for more than 5 minutes. He'd be like, "You buying something?" Listen, like, we got this stuff over here. It's on sale. You want this stuff over here? Look what I got over here. So, lovely gentleman, but
was it like a blind Mike? Was it a blind Mike? Hat on a hat nickname, or
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it would take you long to figure it out once you walked in.
Yeah, mine was always, because I was always a big video game player as a kid, which I've started playing again a lot recently, which is embarrassing at my age. But there would always be this guy who would convince you to buy whatever the new game is, and he would really hype it up and be like, "No, this, Tasmania the Devil video game, this is so much better than all this other stuff before." Even though all those games in the 90s are exactly the same, each one is a character who has to jump this way, to go in a sub-level, to jump this way, to collect all the diamonds or the coins, and every week you buy a new one and you go, "That fucking cunt fucking got me again." And I did say that back then.
Yeah, I remember we used to have a card shop owner named Jim that would make it known to all the children that he had a concealed carry permit, and would play something called pack poker with the baseball cards, where everybody would buy sometimes whole boxes of cards, and then you would all open them, and whoever had the most valuable set would get like all of the sets. And it was just this really like greasy way of taking advantage of kids. I don't know, just that guy was a fucking creep. So he made,
and then the blowjobs.
Yeah.
To be fair,
if you lost, you had to blow him, right?
To be fair, it's the kid's fault for being stupid.
Yeah, there have to be stakes. There need to be stakes in poker. Package poker, I mean. No. So,
in more ways than one.
So let's get into the film here, because there's kind of a lot to. Usually I just say that this is more discussion about the film, and we don't really unpack beat for beat the plots, but this is so linear in the sense that these 5 friends are on a pub crawl that ends at a bar called The World's End, and that's where the title comes from. But I found it interesting how each beat at each of the pubs kind of has its own purpose in the film. So it makes a lot of sense to talk about them linearly. Is that a word? Linearly. But I do want to point out that at the top of the film, when Gary decides that he's going to revisit this failed childhood experiment that were not able to complete the pub crawl, he's in what looks like maybe an AA meeting, and the woman on the left is Mary, the zombie that gets impaled in Shaun. So that's a fun cameo to point out. Go ahead,
and what you're saying, Andy, that's the perfect type of Edgar Wright thing, in that there's always something else going on in the background where, just as you point out, you go, that's the fucking zombie from the garden. She's who they thought was drunk, and remember in Shaun of the Dead?
Yep.
And now here she is having kicked the drug. You know.
The one they start throwing records at.
Right. Exactly. And as we've been talking about each movie, the fact that Edgar has so many running gags from not just in the movie itself, like from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, which he loves to do, but also from movie to movie, but also from Spaced, the series. He's pulling callbacks to season 1 of Spaced in a lot of these films. So he just loves a callback. He loves a running gag. Obviously the fence bit, obviously the Cornetto thing. So there's so many Easter eggs that make his films fun to watch, especially the Cornetto trilogy, that you want to find those cameos. You want to find, Martin Freeman is obviously more featured in this one, but in the first one, somebody said that Martin Freeman's in all of the Cornetto films, and I was like, I don't even remember him in Shaun, and it really is a really short cameo. But just Edgar's love of a callback and a running gag makes these movies that much more fun.
So where is Spaced, like this, as far as when it came out in comparison to the trilogy? Is it before, during, after? Like when did Spaced get done?
It's before. So Spaced is, I think, 98, 99. And then Shaun came out very soon after that. And there's a lot of points to be argued that just Shaun of the Dead is spaced with the zombie apocalypse. If you took the Liz character and made her Daisy, that it's basically spaced the movie with zombies. So it's just the precursor to his film career.
Gotcha. And you say because right before he did The World's End, he did Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which on a technical scale, it's like this mind-blowing artistic thing. And I just remember at the time thinking, if he can do that, like if that's what his skills have advanced to, then when they get back to do this other Simon Pegg film, this is going to be amazing. And especially because he'd now become not like a huge box office draw, but Edgar Wright's films made money for studios, so he's not going to have to be like, oh, you hold the string and the plane will fly off. Now they can actually have a budget for robots and zombies and Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And I guess that is a good time to bring up my problem with The World's End. And
no black people?
Yeah, not enough black.
I thought you said problem.
Yeah, that he can't live there.
And this is it's not Edgar Wright's problem. It's my problem with what I want from these films. And I've said previously that Scott Pilgrim is my favorite Edgar Wright movie because I have so much in common with that film, from the bands to the video games to
the gay roommate.
Yeah. Sleeping with a gay man. Yeah. I have so much in common with that movie that I this is like reached the pinnacle of my fandom with that film. So now you take the success of Shaun, you take the success of Hot Fuzz, then you have this complete departure. Oh, none of those characters are in Scott Pilgrim, mostly, and then now let's return for the third part of the trilogy that of these awesome installments of Shaun and Hot Fuzz. And then I just feel like The World's End is disappointing. And you're like, oh, we got the band back together. We got Simon, we got Nick, we got Edgar. This is everything that we've been waiting for. And then it's just the least of the three. So I remember seeing it in the movie and walking out after, and it's just like, it just wasn't as good as the three that came before it.
You know, for me, and I don't know if you agree with this, but this opinion really got hammered home when I rewatched it the other day, that as soon as the concept of the film kicks in, to me, that's when it falls apart. Because you've got this really interesting, sort of funny story about a forced reunion of these friends coming together to try to recreate a epic party night. That could be pretty funny, but then at some point it just turns into another action film. And suddenly, and I know it's a film, but suddenly Nick Frost can do martial arts.
I fucking hate this town!
It's like, come on now, he's a fat cunt.
Big bruiser.
Yeah.
Beating people to death with stools.
It is amazing. And I kind of think it's like a person that knows how to play piano, trying to figure out a way to insert a scene where they play the piano in a movie, like Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire. It's like, okay, we get it. You know how to ride a horse and play piano. But Nick Frost, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Into the Badlands. It was an AMC show.
Some of the best fight choreography in the history of anything in that series.
Nick Frost is a fucking amazing fight choreography. I don't know if he takes martial arts, but I don't know how a guy of that stature can be that agile. And I think they just are like, well, if you can do it, let's showcase it. And I pointed out that in Scott Pilgrim, the fight choreographer, I think his name is Brad Allen. I wrote it down somewhere, but he was like a Jackie Chan protege that worked on a lot of Jackie Chan films, and they used him to like the best possible use of him in Scott Pilgrim. He also did the fight choreography from this, and they just try and give Nick Frost that moment because he's so good at it. But you're right, though, it is kind of comes out of nowhere. And the whole plot of the movie, it gets to, I think it's 37 minutes in, it just decides to take this Invasion of the Body Snatchers left turn away from all of the realistic drama of this suicidal alcoholic trying to, with Arrested Development, trying to reconnect with his friends that have wrote him off. And it sounds, and it is not a fun topic. Like, that's not a fun theme for a comedy action sci-fi movie. So and that's
when he shows his wrist,
reason why
that's the part of me like, oh shit. Now, were they implying he tried to cut his wrist? That was the implication with the bandages?
Yeah, not to jump to the end, which is fine. But no, it's fine because you get to the second part of the third act, and it's revealed that the character of Gary King had tried to kill himself. That probably the sequence right at the top of the film where you think maybe he's an AA was probably a group therapy at a mental institution that he escaped from. So it's like, wow, aren't we having so much fun with this alcoholic suicidal person that doesn't care about him or his friends in any real way? You could relate, right, Hughezy?
Every day. Yeah. But it's true because well, without going into graphic details, because I have no way to prove that what I'm going to say is true, but when you see what was Gary's best day ever, it did look like a pretty fucking amazing day.
Mhm.
And I'm sure we've all had stuff like that happen when we're younger and think, I can't believe this is really what happened today. Like this, I hope this day never ends. And then the next day, you have to spend 4 hours with your change sorter machine.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? This time last night, I was having this crazy drugs orgy, and now I'm counting out these 20p coins. Fuck this.
Right. It's
I-
like Al Bundy syndrome, right?
Yes.
I peaked in high school. I
4 touchdowns.
I scored 4 touchdowns, and life never got any better. So that's kind of the Gary King setup.
Mhm. Every time I watch this movie, I want to find a reason to call a handicapped bathroom the disabled. I just want to be somewhere and go, hey, no, don't use that one. That's the disabled.
But I never understood the Al Bundy thing.
Which brings us to a little promise you made just last spring.
Sex again. Peg, we've been married for 17 years now. Can't we just be friends?
No, I don't like you. I just want to have sex with you.
To this day, I think Peg Bundy, whatever his real name is a good looking fucking whore. No offense to her.
Yeah.
And back then in the 80s, she was a big haired, horny bitch. And it's like, what did you get to complain about? Peg. He's like, banger, you fag.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's what makes the show special. But this, that Arrested Development, that longing for the lighter, easier, more fun days is why Gary wants to revisit and complete the pub crawl. Or they're doing something called the Golden Mile in their hometown of New Haven, and you get a Pierce Brosnan cameo at the top. He shows up later, and now it goes into the Blues Brothers sequence again. Edgar doing his film references where he has to convince all of his childhood friends to do this pub crawl with him again.
Oh, yes. Look at these cunts. You're late. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. You said 3, it's almost 4. Yeah, 3 for 4. You know your problem, Gary? You're never wrong. How is that a problem?
And everybody else has moved on. It doesn't mean anything seemingly to anyone else, but he's lying about his mom's cancer, or that other people that have written him off, specifically Nick Frost character of Andy, which we come to find out later. Gary, what was it? He got so drunk that he got in a car accident and left Andy for dead.
Yeah. Let him be arrested or
Yeah. So again, fun stuff, right?
Right. Well, the other fun thing too, don't forget, he pays back Andy the 600 quid he owes him by borrowing 200 from each of the other guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just like this character is not likable, but that's another good thing to point out, which we have pointed out between as Simon Pegg and Nick Frost move through these films respectively. They're not just doing the same thing all over. It's just not just Simon and Nick in this movie and that movie. You got like the lazy kind of dickish Ed in Shaun, but then Simon Pegg is kind of doing that more with Gary, where
I was just going to bring up that comparison.
Yeah, because in Shaun, Ed never has a character arc where he learns and grows and becomes better by the end of Shaun of the Dead. It's just Ed is dead at the end, and it's the same guy doing the same shit. And that's kind of what happens with Gary in this. He doesn't really become a better person. He just, it goes from not the apocalypse to the apocalypse, and he's the same guy doing the same shit with the robot versions of his friends that he always wanted. That's not a character arc, and it doesn't make that character a good person. Whereas Simon Pegg has kind of always been more of a likable, good person in all the previous films. and then in this, he's an unlikable asshole. And
Yeah.
and Andy, Nick's character Andy, is more of a straight-laced tight ass as opposed to a slacker or a buffoon in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
So these guys are doing different amazing things, and it just needs to be pointed out that that their acting chops are fantastic. So
You said it much more eloquently than I was going to say it. I was going to say in Shaun of the Dead, I wanted to slap the shit out of Nick Frost the whole time, and in the world said I wanted to slap the shit out of Simon Pegg the whole time. which is the point. This is the point, because like the idea that no matter what happens in this movie, no matter what, all the thing Gary cares about is finishing the pub crawl. It's all he cares about.
yeah. And I mean, that's on display specifically at the part where they get to the bar that he's 86th from, and he goes out and everybody's walking away. Nobody sees what's happening, and he's compelled to combine the three ass ends of those beers that other people didn't finish and drink it. Like, who is this for? Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Your friends didn't see you do it. It's all he cares about, and it's all he has as a loser who peaked in high school.
I don't want to be sober. It never got better than that night. That was supposed to be the beginning of my life. All that promise and fucking optimism. That feeling like we could take on the whole universe. It was a big lie.
And it's not a good look. It's not a fun theme for a movie to drill down on addiction and depression and mental health. And it really made me wonder at the end of the movie, between the guys that wrote it, I think that Simon and Edgar usually write together, was somebody in their life or one of them dealing with addiction and this kind to prompt writing something like this that is not, to me, it's not fun. This is not a fun movie. Am I wrong?
Simon Pegg himself has admitted that before Hot Fuzz, he was a raging alcoholic, to the point that he said he's actually drunk in Mission Impossible 3. And that he said that he doesn't know how they got away with it. There's apparently some weird story about how he was completely drunk on the plane on the flight over, and he almost got like arrested or something at customs, but they got him through. So I think that part of it is based on Simon Pegg. And I mean, you can even see, like, with him trying to cling on to his youth in real life with his hair, like just let it go.
Okay,
like his hair is thinner than the plot to Adam Sandler's Blended.
Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, I think there is something to. I'm glad you said that and knew that, because I really do think that this is a therapeutic movie for these guys, for Simon, sounds like specifically. So, but does that make it interesting for an audience? Does that turn this into a fun installment in the filmography of Edgar Wright? And I'm struggling to figure out where it fits in. And you know, I hate to say it, but this might be. I've only seen Last Night in Soho once. I'm looking forward to rewatching that to really examine a real opinion of that, and I haven't rewatched it yet. But this might be my least favorite movie of Edgar Wright's. What do you guys think? Okay.
I remember enjoying it myself, but I don't remember. I wasn't blown away. I do think I enjoyed it more the second time I watched it. I think I just like was looking for more stuff the second time I watched it, and just like the idea, like with Hot Fuzz, is basically based on 2 characters. This is based on more of a 5-character thing, even 6 if you count the sister. You know, it's kind of like more like an ensemble with the group. So it's a different feel to it. Yeah. You know, so I feel like each of the characters did bring something different. The fact that Pete's a complete coward after his and again, it is a lot about trauma. Pete's a coward throughout the entire movie because of his trauma of getting the shit kicked out of him. Like you said, the guy knocked his eye out of his fucking head. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not a lot of fun. Jesus Christ, Pete. But that's what he's hiding during every fight. So you're right. There is a lot of like trauma stuff involved with this movie. Which you don't really get with the other ones. So I don't know if I would put it last. I mean, it's hard for me to say. Because again, I guess maybe because again with Hot Fuzz, I wasn't blown away by it the first time I saw it. I did enjoy it, but it's probably between this and Hot Fuzz for the ones. But I love Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was a freaking amazing movie. Such a fun movie. I've watched it like a dozen times. I never not enjoy it every time I watch it. So
it's the one I've seen the most as well.
Definitely.
Hughezy, any thoughts on the themes and the fun and like where it fits into the lexicon?
Well, see, I still think that the first half of the film is great, but and it's especially for those that haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but Gary is arguing with the rest of the guys, and they're all in the bar, and they're clearly arguing and not getting along. So it's become quite aware that the others are either going to just go back to the hotel and get up in the morning or try and get a bus or something home that night. So Gary's realizing, fuck, the one thing I've wanted to do since the 1990s, it's all gone to shit, to the point that he goes into the bathroom in this pub to take a piss, and he starts talking to this younger teenage boy, and it gets so low to the point that he's almost talking about going out to hang around with the teenagers.
You guys look like you're having a good night, though. I'm doing the Golden Mile tonight. You wanna tag along? You could be like the Six Musketeers.
But I think that one of the reasons why I would say Americans maybe wouldn't like this film all that much is that it's very, very niche. Like soundtrack wise, that type of music sells out stadiums over here. Maybe not so much in America, but I haven't actually. So I would give, if I had to rate this, I would definitely say it's like a 50%. But I haven't enjoyed a Simon Pegg film, Edgar Wright film since this. I thought Baby Driver was embarrassing. Last Night in Soho, I fucking hated it. It was so shit. I am looking forward to The Running Man, though, because I'm old enough to have seen the original. Okay, that means that I'm gay.
Oh crap.
Yeah, but I think that this, I think that I would describe The World's End as good, and that's about it.
Okay.
The fight scenes where Gary is just trying to drink while fighting the robot guys. He's just trying to down, and he's every time one gets knocked into his head, he's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I did have a note that's like a reference to Drunken Master, especially the fight choreographer was a Jackie Chan protege. I picked up on some of those things, specifically the thing what they did with the scarf with Rosamund Pike's character. Point out that Pierce Brosnan and Rosamund Pike are both in Die Another Day. 007 connection there. So I enjoyed seeing those two in a movie together again, even in the limited capacity that they were both in it. But yeah, and you get Nick Frost being Jackie Chan, and it's like it's crazy. It's kind of what keeps the movie engaging, even though it just takes this complete left turn from something that is like big chill, kind of having nothing to live for, which are all such fun times that we're having at this movie. It just it's such a depressing premise to then just go into this crazy sci-fi invasion of the body snatchers plot. I don't know.
And it's like what you mentioned earlier, Andy, that you don't feel sorry for Gary. Like you don't say to him, "Go on, get those last few pints." It's like, no, this is insane. What are you doing?
Get out of there!
Fuck out of there!
Yeah, you're putting all of your friends' lives at risk. The character of Pete, which his death is again one of the things that I talked about with Shaun. Not to keep bringing it back up, but that movie is so impactful because of the part when he killed his mom at the Winchester.
Mhm.
It is insanely heartbreaking, and people don't remember that after it's over because they had so much fun watching them hit the zombie to the Queen song and all of the fun things that came before it. But like when Shaun kills his mom and then his friend turns the gun on, kill him, and he only survives because it's not loaded. It's like the darkest thing you could possibly conceive of putting in like side, and that just imprints on you and makes you remember Shaun of the Dead, realize why. And that and that's something that I brought up in the review of that. So you get to this, and I think they're trying to maybe do the same thing here. It focuses so much on the unfun dark stuff as the Front Street, and there's not enough comedy. I really did not laugh a lot at World's End the way I laughed at Shaun, the way I laughed at Hot Fuzz and Scott Pilgrim. These are far funnier movies, and then it gets to this, and it's just like this main character is not likable. He's putting all of his friends in jeopardy. The character of Pete basically just he throws himself away.
It's not even that he forced me to spend entire lessons hiding in a toilet cubicle, or that he punched me so hard he dislodged my eyeball. And it's not even that he ruined a large portion of my childhood. No, it's the fact that just then, he didn't recognize me. He looked straight through me. It's like it all meant nothing. And that probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
That story that he tells, anybody that's ever been bullied, that registers with anybody that's ever felt diminished by a bully. So it's fucking heartbreaking.
This really is a zombie apocalypse just with these goofy ass characters trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
And a real nitpicking criticism that I had with it was at one point in the film, in the soundtrack, they used the song by the Doors.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're drinking beer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And stuff like that. They go, no, you're not drinking. You're not going to whiskey bar. You're going down the fucking pub with a bunch of lads.
Yeah, there's not enough drinking songs to pick from. You had to go with that.
Did they have like that one like corporate beer that all the bars had at some point? Like the first three beers are all became like chain. They all became like chain bars of the same Crown, Royal Crown or something like that.
Yeah, and the other thing was that a 12-pint drinking binge when you're a teenager or in your 20s, that's not a big deal.
No.
I could easily drink 12 fucking beers.
Yeah.
Not today, but so that's what it's like. So it's a bunch of fellas who have to drink 12 beers over the course of a 24-hour period. Like, easy.
Yeah.
A nice long walk in between each beer. So down for the next one.
You're telling me you didn't do it every weekend? That's what else did you have to do except do the Golden Mile every weekend?
Exactly. So that's why there's, and also I don't think it helped that when this came out. You remember there was a Seth Rogen film called
"This Is the End."
Thank you. This is the end. Not 12 Years a Slave as I thought it was called. but this
also
is the end. Yeah. Love me some 12 Years a Slav or whatever it's called. I thought that This Is the End was by far better, and it was a very similar type of story. And it came out first. It's like, okay, we'll compete with this.
Yeah, you're right. It did suffer from that. There are many movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon or Dante's Peak and Volcano, these movies that compete against each other, and this definitely lost the battle. I had so many expectations. We were talking about I think before we started recording about going into a film with low expectations, you're able to enjoy it more. And when you have this bar set that Shaun and Hot Fuzz set for World's End, it can't clear that bar. And This Is the End even like stuffs it like a basketball. It's like, get the fuck out of here with World's End, because we have a far better apocalypse movie. And that's depressing to say based on my opinions of Seth Rogen right now versus my overall opinion of Edgar Wright's films, which categorically, almost across the board, with maybe the exception of Last Night in Soho, which I've only seen once, which isn't a good thing. Like, if it was good, I probably would have gone back and watched it again, and I will for this series. But almost all the other movies I like. So, and that's just kind of where I'm at with the way that I internalized The World's End. So.
Well, I've seen One Night in Soho, and to quote the real life Gary King, that was one too many.
What are your credits?
Your name's Edgar Wright, but do you know how to vote left? Can I have a beer?
Stuttering John as Gary King might be too much for my brain to handle.
There's a lot of parallels, though. You're right. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fence gag. There's some good versions of the fence gag in this, where he trips over the little hedge and then knocks the whole fence down. It's all everybody's waiting for that to happen with this movie, and that is maybe the saving grace. They save the Cornetto thing to the bitter end, where they know everybody's waiting for it, and it just kind of is thrown away. But
I'm hard pressed to recall any processed foods I actually miss.
They delivered on it, so I just feel like a lot of this film is just checking boxes and not really. It feels like that they were obligated to make it. It's just like, everybody wants this. How do we just do more of the same, and then to a less successful degree? And I wonder why, if maybe that's why they never worked together after this, or it was like, whatever, Simon Pegg goes on to do Star Trek and every single fucking Mission Impossible movie, and he's just so busy, and Edgar is doing Baby Driver and like everything that he's done since that, and they just haven't been able to get back on the same page? Or is there some kind of rivalry where they don't want to work together anymore?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was on Amazon here. There was some type of ghost hunting show that Nick Frost and Simon Pegg did, where like they becomes like I think it's Nick Frost kind of involuntarily ends up hunting ghosts with these people, and like Simon Pegg is like his boss as a real job. I remember watching on Amazon, and they only did one season of it. I thought it was going to come back, and never did. I found it amusing. It was cute. It was a cute no show. I can't think what the fuck it was called though.
Slaughterhouse or something like that.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. More slaughter than laughter, eh? Cunts.
Yeah, but it was a recent series. I mean, I guess they worked together on that. It was only like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
But and then Simon and Nick make that. Remember that movie Paul with the gray, like the animated gray alien? And this really goes back to what we were talking about in the first installment of this series that I did with Ryan Rebalkin and Fistful of Fingers, and the chemistry that it takes to have the writing and the point of view of Simon Pegg, and the directing chops and sense of humor of Edgar Wright. And when they work together, there's a certain chemistry that it just breeds a successful movie. Maybe not so much in this example of The World's End, but then you remove Edgar Wright and you put Nick and Simon and Paul, and nobody gave a fuck about that, right?
Yeah,
I don't really remember it in any single way, except it existed.
Paul, to me, was one of those. It was like a Saturday Night Live. What do you call them? digital shorts.
Yeah, like a bit kind of thing.
Yeah, but it was like a digital short edited down to 2 hours, and it was just full of all these like one-liners. And Sigourney Weaver turns up and says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Again. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I watched it once. I didn't regret watching it. Like, oh, this is entertaining enough, but never went back to watch it again. Yeah.
Right. It just doesn't have the right tone, the right flavor that Edgar Wright. It didn't have enough montage cuts of menial tasks. You know.
Two things with The World's End. One I liked a lot. One I'm still debating in my own brain. One was the bar names. The bar names are sort of like the over-the-top, I can't remember any of them, but the over-the-top British bar names, like the Leaky Nipple and the Mailman's Wife or something like that. You know, everything's like some type of like weird combination of words to be
I think the most significant one was the two-headed dog, where they fight the twins and the legs as the arms fight. And... That's maybe the best one and the most appropriate one. And what was the other one? They go to the
one with all the teenage girls dancing.
Right? Yeah, obviously everybody likes that one with all the schoolgirl outfits making out with the guys in the marmalade sandwich. Yeah, people enjoy that version of the pub crawl.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing was I want to jump in too far, but the ending. With the post-apocalyptic world where it's this terrible place, but everyone sort of gets a happy ending in the post-apocalyptic world. Even Gary.
Let's back up just a little bit.
Yeah,
and
please.
Talk about the scene at the World's End, the bar.
Okay.
And they get sucked down. He pulls the tab to do the last pint, and they go into this sub-cavern alien. What is it? It's an AI.
Basement.
It's Bill Nighy, or not? How do you say it, Hughezy? Bill Nighy.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Bill Cosby is doing the voice of the network, where all these an alien entity is basically trying to take away agency from the human race for its own good.
Because we suck.
Because obviously Gary sucks at living his own life. So is this possibly the best version of his life, where he just becomes a young version of himself with his old friends? And then Nick and Andy. Okay, I also have to back up and say that the best parts of this movie are Nick Frost. And we talked about the implausibility of the character of Andy actually being, a brawler, which maybe he was in his previous life, but he was obviously like a Bert Kreischer machine type of party animal, where he starts doing the shots when they realize it's an invasion, and he just gets drunker and drunker. The funniest part of this movie.
Andy, what's happening?
Gary thinks we should keep up with the crawl because they know what we're doing, but they don't know that we know what they're doing. And basically, no one else has a better idea. So fuck you.
That's the fucking funniest part of this movie. And Nick Frost is easily the best part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to this episode to end without saying that, but also it becomes significant here when they're all 3 sheets to the wind, drunk, arguing with an alien AI that is trying to save humanity from itself. And they're like, fuck you, we don't want it.
We are the human race, and we don't like being told what to do.
Just what is it that you want to do?
We want to be free. Yeah. We want to be free to do what we want to do. Yeah. We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do.
It's an interesting way to have a basically a logic, like a flat earth argument with an alien entity, where they're just like, fuck you guys, you just do whatever you want, just blow yourselves up, I guess. And
It's like free will over paradise, I guess, kind of thing. It's like, are you going to take free will, or are you going to take this perfect society that should get to kill a few 100,000 of you to get to it? But hey,
it's becoming more and more significant conversation for us as property and cars. Cars are becoming sentient. People are becoming unable to even own a house. So it's like all you're left to do is rent an apartment and get in a car that you don't own. You don't own anything. Jobs are being taken. Like robots are doing everybody's job for us. What's left for us to do except get hammered and fuck each other? It's like, well, is it so bad? I mean, but how do you argue with this? And it was just an interesting way for them to approach the proposition of control, except for the fact that they literally are killing Pete and Ollie, and like these guys are not, they're legit gone. Like main characters,
the compost. They established they make them in the compost.
So I don't know. What do you think about it, Hughezy? Do you wanna just be subjugated, or do you want to get drunk and tell everybody to fuck off?
Well, that all depends. While Oasis is still active, I'm willing to keep. I just want to have a good time and get loaded.
Yeah.
But until then, I will attempt to keep up with the old me. But at the same time, I'm fucking very tired.
Right. But I just wrote down some notes while they were doing that speech, and it was nobody's perfect, and who put you in charge, and the basic right to be fuck ups, and then drunk philosophy while arguing with this entity, the network, and they just want to be left to their own devices, and we don't like to be told what to do. I think that sums up America. Like, even if what you're proposing is for the best, don't try and tell me that I have to do it.
The fact that the AI just goes, you know what? You're right. This isn't worth it. Fuck you guys.
Can't.
But gone.
Yeah. So and then now you brought up the all leads to an EMP basically just shutting down the world, and it goes to a post-apocalyptic scenario where Steve, was it Steven? Who's the guy with that? He ends up with the girl. And Nick is kind of like an elder statesman of a younger generation of kids.
He and his wife got back together too. Like eventually his wife were back together, but he tells him during the movie he and his wife were broken up. He had to get a divorce.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, that's kind of the character arc of Andy.
Yeah.
And then that's the sequence where you get the Mint Cornetto cameo, because he's like, oh, everything's organic, and nobody misses shitty food anymore. And the Cornetto wrapper blows into the shot.
Yeah, but that was one of the bit that I didn't get. So did Nick Frost all of a sudden think that the wrapper was a full fucking ice cream?
In that split second, he was like, oh fuck, it's a wrapper.
I think it just brought back fond memories. But and then it ends with Gary teaming up with the robot versions of his old friends, and he's just reliving his good old days, like Stuttering John. Do you think that if there was a robot, like if Stuttering John could go sit on a wax museum set with Jay Leno and just have a laugh track that would laugh at all of his fucking jokes, that he would do that? The way that Gary King is marching around the apocalypse with his old childhood friends, thinking that he's the fucking coolest things in sliced bread.
Hanging out with his kids with all their original parts.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd love to do that. Fantastic.
I remember interviewing Stuttering John once, and in the background you could see this big stack of VHS tapes. And I could just tell, I didn't even have to ask him, I could just tell those are the Tonight Show episodes, and he has all these this collection of his greatest hits on those videos, and he watches them every night. Drinks himself until he falls asleep on the sofa. He wakes up, I'm gonna take a piss.
I would. Do you know how much I would pay to have that collection so that we could rewatch all of John's bombing jokes on the Tonight Show. You can't find them anywhere. I would.
John, transfer them to DVD for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
Stuttering John is so unfunny that the Tonight Show decided not to put the content on YouTube. That's how shit he was.
You see, folks, if you're watching this for Edgar Wright content and you don't know who Stuttering John is, he's a drunk buffoon that we make fun of over and over again. So go Google the Dabbleverse and go down a rabbit hole. But yeah, this is the final thoughts on World's End. Not fun. This is very dark themes, especially from a male perspective when you think about older men and friendship and the bonds that they make as kids and lose over the years, and loneliness and mental health and addiction. This is all on Front Street with this movie, and it just didn't add up to a lot of fun for me. And then they insert this science fiction theme that just seems like it was required to be part of the movie based on Shaun and Hot Fuzz. They just couldn't not do it, and it just didn't make sense. And I still enjoyed watching it, but it just wasn't. It's just like we said. It's just kind of a copy of a copy, and less impactful and good than the two that came before it in the Cornetto trilogy.
Cool.
Anything to add, 2K?
See, I remember. I think the movie did. I mean, the trailers didn't give away what what was actually happening. It gave you like a Stepford vibe,
right?
I think in the trailers originally. So I went into it. The whole sci-fi thing completely caught me. I was not expecting it at all. So the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, not confused by it, but I was like, oh, this is what we're doing, okay. And then in the ending was a little weird with the alien just going, okay, fine, bye, and out there. But overall, I think again, I felt better about this movie the second time I watched it, even the third time that it popped up, randomly catching part of it. So I found it enjoyable. I did enjoy it. As far as just like and with me with comedies, I hate most comedies. I think comedy and horror are really hard to make good movies. Like action and like, actually with sci-fi, I'll watch anything. I don't care. But like those two genres are very hard to do. And I feel like as far as like the comedy genre, and even with a little bit of horror added into it with the concept, I think they did better than most. Now, in regards to the rest of the trilogy, I would put it on par with Hot Fuzz. I think I think I said earlier, I think I maybe actually enjoyed this movie a little bit more than Hot Fuzz, but neither one of those movies came close to Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's still the standard when it comes to these movies. And I just don't think I don't think they'll ever top it. But that just shows how good a movie Shaun of the Dead was.
Okay, I would encourage you to watch Hot Fuzz again if you haven't seen it recently.
It's been a while.
If you just rewatched this and enjoyed it, go watch Hot Fuzz again and realize how much better it is than this.
I did enjoy Hot Fuzz too. I just meant like this for my own feeling of like, But again, I do remember Hot Fuzz, but I may be right. I may have to go back on it. What am I talking about? and
go down on it?
Yeah, see it with unblinking eyes.
If that's possible for you.
Yeah, well, look, hey, there you go.
Hughezy, final thoughts on The World's End?
Generally, I like it, but I think that it is the film that it shows you a lot of the negative traits that Edgar Wright had. Like it's very self-indulgently made, if that makes sense, where it's like certain scenes are filmed in a certain way, I think simply because he wanted to do it, not because it actually made logical sense. For his next film, Baby Driver, he proved me right with that silly shit he was doing. That film is ridiculous. Last Night in Soho was crap, so the pressure is on the Running Man, because so far his film career, he's made 5 films, 3 good in my eyes, 2 bad. So will the Running Man tip it back in his favor? We'll find out this Nov.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to pivot towards the end of the film. I like to ask the guests, 2K, what's your awareness and opinion of the new remake of Running Man?
I've only heard that's being done. I haven't actually seen much as far as like trailers or anything like that online. Whenever they remake these movies, I'm always a little leery. Like they redid what the hell was the other one? The Get Your Ass to Mars one. What the hell am I thinking of?
Total Recall.
Total Recall. They redid Total Recall. And I'm like, wait, they're on Earth the whole time? The whole point of the movie was they're on Mars. What are we doing? Yeah, the Kate Beckinsale being insanely gorgeous made up for some of it.
But dude, I got to tell you, like, since you brought it up, that if you watch, just change the name to something else other than Total Recall, and you're gonna enjoy that movie a lot more. Because
once I let it go, I just didn't think of it as a remake. I did kind of enjoy it more for sure.
Because same. Because I watched it the first time, I was like, well, this isn't as good as the Schwarzenegger one, and I have that fear for this one because the first Running Man is beloved to me. I saw it as a young child on HBO, not knowing what I was getting myself into, and it had very much informed my opinion of sci-fi and Schwarzenegger and what action is and how hot Sharon Stone was at the time. You know, these are all things that just made a young Andy a fan of film. So to try and do that again with Running Man, and the way that I feel about Richard Dawson in that movie, the way that I feel about the villains of that each sequence has their own specific villain, and it really is like a video game, and there's so much that I enjoy about the original. So this new version of Running Man has a lot to live up to.
Oh, for sure.
And I've already explained the way that I assign expectations to a movie. And this is a problem with me. Like if you don't live up to not that anybody has to, but
all of our own personal
expectations. To my expectations, I'm not going to like it. So I'm very much looking forward to it, though.
Did either of you guys? I know this is a bit of a sidetrack, but did you guys see the trailer for the new Anaconda remake?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And what the concept is? The concept is like, this is such a weird concept. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll go see. But I'll say this about Running Man: it does have the cheat code of Josh Brolin is in it. And if you go look at his filmography, or as I think it should be called, filmography, that's the Irish pronunciation. Is it a
documentary?
Documentary. Hello, Kelly. But if you look at Josh Brolin's filmography since his big comeback, with No Country for Old Men. Is he everything he has done has either been a critical smash hit or a giant box office hit?
Yeah.
So it's like everything he has done has been significantly successful in some kind. So that could help. But at the same time, if you look at the trailers, what you can see is that Edgar Wright has used drone cameras to film this, and how there's a really elaborate, long, unedited shots of people running and diving down holes, and the camera's following them the whole time. And it's like, are you doing this because you got this visual idea with using this technology, or because you thought, I've got a great new take on the Running Man, we should try this? That's what I'm very wary about, because he's like, I know we're not talking about it, but Baby Driver, it doesn't make any sense that the whole world is programmed into your fucking iPod.
Yeah. That's the least of my concerns with that. But I mean, I like that you point that out, because there was, what was that movie? It was Ed Hardy, and it was the director of The Raid, and the movie it was straight to Netflix.
Havoc.
Does anybody, you remember the name of it? Havoc. Oh God, I had such high hopes for it, and then it kicks off with that car chase, and you're like, "This is fucking cool," and then you realize it's just a fucking cartoon. So if he can do what that movie was trying to do with these drone shots that you're describing, that's what I wanted that to be. And to, like I said, if they check that box and hit my expectation of what I thought that should have been, instead of just making it a CGI cartoon, that would have been so much better if it was practical. And if they could pull that off with Running Man, that would be amazing. That would be a game changer. So now we've set the bar so high, and it's probably going to suck, but I don't know.
I'll give it a chance.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate your thoughts on this one. This was a hard one to cover for me, and I'm glad that you guys were here to be part of it. Hughezy, do you have anything that you would like to plug at this time?
Yes, I'm at the Hughezy on Twitter and Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram because I can't get any followers there. I'm not a 20-year-old woman with big arse who likes to work out. So it's very difficult to get any traction over there. You either need to be a beautiful woman with a big arse or a very cute baby to get any traction. And
have you tried being a kitten? That works well on Instagram.
Well, Halloween is coming up, so there you go. And also, I'm Huge Entertainment on YouTube, the most ironically named YouTube channel ever. Just get in there and just start spamming up the comments and hit the like button because trigger my algorithm, baby.
Hey, this is coming out a little bit later, but the episode with Quad and Pat Dixon and Lemmy, I very much enjoyed it. So go check out Hughezy's channel.
Sweet.
Go check out that 2K. Do you have anything that you would like to plug it?
I guess. Well, first thing, Annie Orion. It is Orion, not Orion, right? Annie Orion's going to be on Movies with Tooke with us next week. That's the 28th. We'll be watching Lethal Weapon because she's never seen it before, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that.
A Christmas film?
I know, right? It's close to Halloween.
All right, I'm going to fucking bring this up now too, as far as this whole Christmas Die Hard Christmas movie shit. Is the movie about Christmas? That's what makes it Christmas. Die Hard you can watch anytime you want to watch it. Just because it happens at Christmas,
oh no, of course,
that doesn't make it a Christmas movie. The movie has to be about Christmas.
I made this point though when you brought this up on your show that you could watch Home Alone any time of year either, not the Christmas movie.
I did an episode of my podcast where you can find it for free on all good streaming services, where I interviewed Stephen E. D'Souza, the writer of Die Hard. And he said it was written specifically with the idea of it being a Christmas film that was supposed to come out later in the year, but the studio put it out in the summer instead. So it was supposed to be a Christmas film. So is Die Hard 2. And Die Hard 6 was supposed to be was supposed to be a Christmas set film, but unfortunately, Bruce Willis has soup for brains now.
Yeah.
I just the only other thing as far as the at 2K Puppet with the little it doesn't have the little gay E, just the regular E at 2K Puppet on X. Just follow me there. I post everything on there that I'm going to be doing. So easiest way.
Great. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And if you're thinking about missing the next installment of All the Right Moves,
Don't